Right, so here we go. It's time for the draw for the Europa League group stage where Norwich City have been seeded 4th for the draw. And I must say, as we head into our first ever European competition, I'm very nervous that we could have a group of death in our first season European football. I would say the group of death would probably be us, Atalanta, probably Monaco, and Atletico Madrid. So Atletico Madrid, Atalanta and Monaco. That would be the group of death. But let's see who Norwich City have got. First seeds are coming out first. Here come the second seeds. Oh God, Group E already. Please not Group E. Oh, I can just see it. Atalanta in Group E. No, they've gone in Group A, thankfully. And in Group E, you've got Anderlecht. That wouldn't be easy either. Group D with Juventus and Real Sociedad there as well. So those are the groups. I must say I'm probably hoping for I'd say Group F. Group F's the one I want. Here we go. Oh, right away, straight away. Group A, Sporting Lisbon, Lokomotiv Moscow, and Atalanta as well. One of the three we were desperate to avoid. So we'll wrap up the groups. There we go. And unfortunately for us, it's not going to be an easy group, that one. Sporting Lisbon, the Portuguese side, Lokomotiv Moscow, the Russians, and the side that we didn't want out of the third seed, Atalanta. So Group A, Norwich City, that's going to be a tough group. But you know what? I think we can get through that. Certainly not easy, but one we can get through. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 25. And today we're returning with two big games with our Canaries as we take on informed West Brom in the Premier League and then play our first ever European game at Carrow Road as we play host to Lokomotiv Moscow in the Europa League group opener. Before we get to the games though, John, what have you been getting on off camera? And there's not too much to show you since the last episode, which was of course the season opener where we beat Burnley by 2-1. Just the 5 games off camera, all coming in August. And as you can see, it was quite a poor run to begin the campaign off for Norwich City. Now, we did begin with a huge 3-2 victory at home to Manchester City, where Ryan Big Game Brewster on the opening day against Burnley was terrible. But as we know, this is why he's got the nickname. He performs well in these sort of games. He scored 2 goals in 3 minutes. First from the spot, 15 minutes in, opening the scoring. And then a few minutes later, Aymeric Laporte just gifted him his second goal of the game as we went 2-0 up. And then 10 minutes later, Jamal Lewis scored an absolute cracker, making it 3-0. And we were just on fire. Almost threw away the 3 points in the second half. KDB scoring a great free kick, and then Rodgers with 9 minutes to go made it 3-2, but thankfully did manage to hold on for the 3 points there and back-to-back wins to start the campaign off. But what followed that was total humiliation. We went to North London to take on Arsenal, who, if you remember last season, we beat back-to-back, both at the Emirates, and then of course the best win in the series, the 6-3 win at Carrow Road. But in this game, they got their revenge and then some. We were destroyed by the Gunners as to beat us by 5-1. Lacazette scored 2 goals in the first half, and as soon as he scored his second goal, I made a tactical change. I went to the gegenpress system. A minute later, we scored to make it 2-1, and I was like, oh, here we go. Tactical mastermind, Doc's back at it again. And then we conceded 3 goals in the second half and lost the game 5-1. Lacazette scored 2 more goals to get his 3rd and 4th in the game. And Everton scored one with half an hour to go to make it 4-1 at that point. Lacazette scored another, that made it 5-1. And that was how the game finished. So yeah, that was me thinking I was going to be a tactical genius. In the end, I probably worsened our loss. So yeah, 5-1 the final score there. Really, really poor defeat. And then following that, a 2-2 draw away against Leicester at King Power Stadium, who this season has started off quite poorly. Harvey Barnes gave them the lead just 2 minutes in, firing past Dean, making his debut for us in this game. Before Brewster got us back on ill terms for a penalty, his second of the season already. 10 minutes later, with 15 minutes to go, Leicester thought they'd won it as Joe Rodden made it 2-1, but in the 94th minute, talk about clutch, Harrison Reed comes off the bench, and what a goal as he makes it 2-2 and gives us a big point there, where unfortunately Sander Berger also went down in that game, has been injured since then, and following that, an exit in the EFL Cup 3rd round against Leicester at home as well. We went down to 10 men very early, Ben Thompson getting sent off, James Maddison, who always scores against us, then made it 1-0 soon after the restart. Ludwig Ajorque did equalise for us in the 64th minute, connecting with a Marcelo cross. So nice to see the veteran Brazilian get an assist on his first game for the club as Ajorque made it 1-1. But in the shootout, unfortunately, despite his fantastic mental stats, Arturo Vidal missed the first penalty and we never managed to make a save. Eventually, indeed, he scored the 5th and final penalty for Leicester. excuse me, as they made it through to the fourth round and we were knocked out. So no wins in our last 3 games, but thankfully we did respond in our final game in the run of camera just before the international break with a big thumping 4-1 victory at home to Fulham. Ryan, big game Brewster, bagging 4 goals in the game. He was just absolutely on fire. And it took a long time for us to get the first goal in the game. We were like dominating Reno right away. We just couldn't seem to break Fulham down and get that clear-cut chance and get the opening and get the first goal of the game. Once Brewster got it right before the break, in the second half, he just absolutely turned it on. He scored 3 goals in 19 minutes as he got 4 for the game, and Fulham did bag a consolation goal, but thankfully that's all it proved to be. So yeah, quite a tough start for Norwich City. You know, not atrocious, but certainly not great either. Already out of the EFL Cup, already a defeat to our name in the Premier League as well. And 5 games in, we sit in 6th place right now with 10 points on the board. So it's not too bad. And again, where we want to finish this season is here to here. Stay in the Europa League or possibly try and push into the top 4 if we can. But really, just cement Europa League football at worst for the indefinite future. So at the moment we're doing that. But there have been a couple of slip-ups along the way. And no clean sheets start the season off. And defensively, we're back to our old ways like we were a couple of years ago. 3rd worst defensive record in the division. That makes a very uncomfortable viewing. And I can't think of anything else to show you before we dive into the first game against informed West Brom today. I suppose the only thing I can show you here is that Emi Buendia has dropped his request to leave the club after Paris Saint-Germain, who was the club he really wanted to go to, dropped their interest right before transfer deadline day. So he had handed in a transfer request. I had granted it, but he wanted to go to PSG. Oh, they're back. They're back. Well, they dropped off for a bit and now they're back on there. But it doesn't matter. He's withdrawn his transfer request, so you can't take it back now, Emmy. I've got that in writing. You withdrew your request and he's staying there. But anyway, Buendia's not as unhappy as he was before. That is good to see. So yeah, first game today, it is indeed against informed West Brom, as hopefully we'll make it back-to-back wins just a second time in this season and get a big 3 points that could send us into the top 4. So into the game right now, as you can see on the injury report, just a 1 player down. I mentioned it briefly in the run of camera. Sander Berger did get an injury, hasn't fully recovered yet, but hopefully he'll be okay for the Lokomotiv Moscow game in midweek. And this will be our team with a 4-2-3-1. We've got Farina's in goal. It's back for Lewis, Benkovic, Godfrey and Aaron's of Reed and Longstaff now playing through the middle together. Ize's on the left, Dembele's on the right, Buendia supports Brewster up top, and on the bench we've got Henderson, Holding, Byron, Vidal, Cantwell, Vasilic and Ida as well. First game, it's West Brom. Let's extend the winning run. Come on, you Canaries. The media have given you a lot of credit lately, so go out there and put on a worthy display. Oh, I tell you, you know those team talks that just, they always seem to wield a positive response? That is the one to go with in this year's FM. I don't know which one you guys prefer, but that one always seems to give me a really good positive response. Buendia wins it back and finds Dembele, and a chance for a counter of Karamoko with 1 man to beat, and he has beaten him, and Dembele, oh yeah, I'll tell you, he's thriving now, makes it 1-0 and gets his 2nd of the season, 2 minutes in, and we already have the breakthrough. Emi Buendia playing it to Dembele, still a lot of work to do here, 2 men covering, but 1 man comes across, beats him in a foot race, and finds the bottom corner as well. Karamoko Dembele, I'm loving his progression over the past couple of years. I was very tempted to give him the number 7 this season. Of course, I gave it to Brewster in the end. The reason I kept him with 77 is because that's what he wears at Celtic. And I just thought, you know, keep the number he wears in real life. His Reed shot is easily caught by Sam Johnston. But I was very close to giving him 7. But I think 77 is going to become his number. He'll never lose it in the entire series as Norwich continue their fantastic start here. Reed finds Eze. Quick ball to Lewis, who crosses. And there he is again. Bionic legs. Dembele just couldn't turn it in. Sam Johnston with the save. And Ferguson hooks it off the line. Johnston, long ball forward to Oliver Burke. And West Brom have started the game off poorly, looking for a response here, but Benkovic wins it back with a towering header, and Reed sends it long to Rian, who's got an awful lot of work to do here, stepping in from the left, and he'll play it to Eze, who gives it him back, and now Eze, he'll play it inside, and Buendia makes it 2 with his first goal of the season. We've kept him here once again, and he's so important to our long-term success. And I've said it before, you know, I know we could get a lot of money for Emi Buendia. We could possibly get around 60 to 70 million pounds now based on his current ability and his form since the save began. But I just can't think of a single player that we could replace Emi Buendia with that would be half as good. He's got all the technical ability, he's got great mental stats, and he always performs well. 2-0 Norwich, we got to keep him here forever. Reed to Buendia, flicks to Longstaff. Lovely football here by Norwich. And oh, Sam Johnston, Butterfingers, allows Dembele to bag his brace. Brewster will claim the assist for the little layoff, but Karamoko Dembele today has been superb. Reed to Buendia, offloads to Longstaff. Lovely football this, great passing, and then Dembele's strike should have been kept out by Johnston, but we won't mind. 3-0 Norwich, cruising for back-to-back victories. Just don't throw away the clean sheet, lads. Come on, as Yeti finds Oliver Burke. And now, oh, for fuck's sake, Perez drills it in and makes it 3-1. Burke to Perez, first time striking. To be fair to Farines, he's not getting anywhere near that. Fantastic strike. And West Brom have a consolation, guys. Probably all it would prove to be, but we just... not a single clean sheet to start the season off. Third worst defensive record. After last season, I thought we'd improve on that and build on that, but evidently not. Being a winning team but leaking goals is something that really frustrates me in Football Manager. I don't know whether you guys are the same, but it's like, you know, you're clearly a better team. You've got a proven record of good defence, yet you just can't stop conceding. It's so frustrating as Longstaff goes for goal. And, well, I'll tell you this, if we can't stop conceding, at least we can't stop scoring. Our run with goals in a game continues as Matty Longstaff makes it 4. And for the second game in a row, we bag 4 goals. Longstaff, second of the season, smacking it in from range. This is something that I'm pleased to see as well. Both his goals this year, I believe, have come from outside the area. The wonderful finish there by Longstaff. And in a box-to-box midfielder, you need someone who can take aim from just outside or just inside the area. 4-1 Norwich. We'll get the win, but again, defensively, when are we going to get our first clean sheet of the season? Still, we are now into the top 4, and we will be even after the Sunday fixtures, which means to start the campaign off, being only 2 points behind Chelsea, I certainly would have taken that had you offered it to me at the start of the season. Again, this is the worry though. 12 goals conceded already. That's worse than anyone else in the top half of the table. That's poor. And if we do want to break into the top 4, we'll need to plug those gaps in our defence. It's not just enough to score goals. You know the saying, defence wins championships. And last season, defence gave us Europa League football. So, got to plug those gaps. So, moving on to our second and final game of today's episode. It is our first ever European game with Norwich at home to Lokomotiv Moscow in the Europa League group open. A bit of bad news right before the game. Karamoko Dembele suffered a pulled hamstring during training. He's going to be out for about 2 weeks. So that's a real shame. So he's going to miss the Atalanta game away from home in 7 days' time. But hopefully we'll cope without Karamoko despite a good start to the season. And this is going to be our team for our first ever European game in the 4-2-3-1. Henderson is going to come in goal. And our back four is going to be Lewis, Holding, Godfrey and Aaron's with Sanderberger back in alongside Ben Thompson. Third forward, Cantwell on the left, Vastalic on the right. Interesting winger duo there with Buendia supporting Ida up top. Come on, Adam Ida. Prove me wrong. You still got it, bro. I want to see it today. On the bench, Farines, Bushiri, Byron, Reed, Isaiah, Jorke, and Rian Brewster if we need him as well. Second and final game. It's our first ever European match here at Carrow Road. Come on, you Canaries. Let's kick the campaign off. We'll win. Tell you what though, Lokomotiv Moscow have got a pretty decent team, don't they? They got Deshilio at left back, Lucas Vazquez is there. They got Mata playing on the right hand side, Sofian Boufal, Miranchuk, Isaac Success up top as well. This won't be easy, and for some reason they've only got 5 substitutes, which is bizarre, but fair enough. But I don't think this is going to be an easy group to get out of at all. I think we can get through it, but I don't think it'll be easy at all. I think if we are to get through, I would take second. I would definitely take second in just making sure we qualify to the next round. Very peculiar that Lokomotiv Moscow are only lined up with 5 subs here. I don't know why that is. Lewis crosses, and there is that man Vastalic off the post as he still searches for his second goal of the season after scoring on the opening day. Still 0-0. Good start though as we get the early pressure on the Russians. Cantwell to Sander, and now forced back to Aaron's. Miranchuk plays it long to Lucas Vazquez. Lots of space for the right back to cross here, and he will. And De Jong hits the post, and Holding puts it behind for a corner. With our defensive woes this season, I would not be surprised if Lokomotiv Moscow stun us here in East Anglia. Still 0-0, but worrying signs already. Success trying to beat Godfrey and will slide through De Jong. 1-2 cut out though as Godfrey plays back to Henderson. And he'll send it long to Buendia. Come on, Norwich City. We want an early goal here to settle the nerves. Ida sent the ball long. And, oh, what's happened here? Hesitation! And Adam gets his first of the season as our number 9 makes it 1-0. I want to see like a little bit of a friendly rivalry between him and Brewster in this team, as they're currently vying for my attention as well as starting spots as well. But Lucas Vazquez, what happened there? I think he must have stopped thinking it was going to be a free kick or an offside or something, and Ida punishes him. Play to the whistle, Lucas, play to the whistle. You taught that in junior football, mate. Play to the whistle as the cross comes in and Ben Thompson wins it back, as Jamal looks to float in across to the centre if he can. And there's Ida again. Shot blocked. And Lokomotiv Moscow clear. He's going for it tonight. That's what I want to see from Adams. What I want to see. I want to see him playing with a chip on his shoulder as Thompson sends it long. And Mata cuts it out. But it goes straight to Ben, who finds Ida. And now Sander to Cantwell. Lovely ball through. Ida's shot saved. Still 1-0. Still leading by 1. As Buendia's got space to cross here. And yes, it's another for our number 9. Adam Ida makes it 2. And a great start for the Canaries here tonight. 2 goals for Mr. Adam Ida and his first two of the year. Buendia's crossed the middle, but once again, it's pretty poor goalkeeping. Across the middle, Ida's header should have been stopped by Lunev, but it's not. It's into the back of the net, and Ida makes it 2. Great start this, and I do want to take off my starters at some point as well, as Berger finds Ida for the hat-trick, and he's hit the post. And Krychowiak clears. It's all Norwich City now as Buendia crosses, and Berger's header is stopped. But Cantwell turns in a rebound, but I don't think it's going to count. It's going to go down as an offside. No goal. Offside against Todd. So, second half underway. Still leading by 2-0. I would like to take off Buendia at some point to give him some rest for the game on the weekend. But for now, I am hesitant because Lokomotiv Moscow could still get back in this. But if Ida makes it free here, that will be the game. And it should have been the match ball for Adam as well. Fires it way wide. Still 2-0. Lokomotiv Moscow hanging on in there. Free kick for Norwich right on the edge of the area. I know it's going to be Cantwell that's going to take it, and this could be the game here. And it is indeed. Cantwell gets his first of the season as he bends in a free kick and makes it free. You know, he was out of contract at the end of last season, and I gave him a new deal in February, I think it was, just to make sure we don't lose him on a free transfer. We don't see him much, but he does have the ability. He just only shows it on very rare occasions. 3-0 Norwich, though. Points in the bag on match day 1. And the real question is, can we keep a clean sheet? As Ajorca has a chance here to send through Ida for the hat-trick. Surely this time, Adam, no! Spurns another chance. He should have had the match ball today, but he's still searching for his third in the game. 3-0, we're going to win the game anyway, and hopefully get our first clean sheet of the season too. And we will indeed. Picture-perfect start for the Canaries in Europe then, our first ever European game, and a very comfortable 3-0 victory in the group opener here against the Russians. So a good win, boys. Well done. Fantastic start to the group. And for Adam Ida as well. So pleased to see him net his first 2 goals this season. He might feel like the forgotten man at times, Adam, but he's still got a place in this team. And as a squad striker, if he embraces that role, that's all you can ask really from Adam Ida. If he can just embrace that role, a squad striker, I think he'll be a really good player in this team for all the years to come. We ain't forgot about you, Adam. We ain't forgot about you. But that was this episode of the Football Manager series, guys. So big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic evening, and we will return in the very next episode with games against. Who should we come back with games against? Tell you what, let's do match day 4 in the Europa League at home to Sporting Lisbon, and let's do either Spurs away or Chelsea at home. Probably Chelsea at home, as right now they're leading the league. So yeah, have a great day, guys. Much love to you, and I'll see you for the next episode in my Football Manager series very soon.